Right. Today we'll be having a great talk with Witek Prokop. Hello, Witek.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
We'll also have Jules Gruszczyńskie. Hello.
Hello. Thanks for having me also. Hello.
And we'll also have me, I guess. We both are members of Razem party, as you can see. I mean, the youth, Razem youth.
Młodzi Razem.
Yeah. And Witek will be talking with us about Middle European cooperation. Is it worth it? Witek, what do you think?
Maybe let's start with Witek introducing.
Oh yes, sorry.
I don't want to sound like egotistic, but yeah, self-introduction is important. My name is Witek Prokop, and I'm from Lewicy party, a small left-wing party in Czech Republic, and I'm a member of its media committee, and I'm also studying political science at West Bohemian University. To your question, yes, definitely. The cooperation between left-wing parties is really, really important. Our so-called enemies, the right-wing parties, especially far-right parties, are cooperating really well on national level and on European level. So we need to counter-attack it with our own cooperation. We need to exchange our ideas and experiences. Dialogue is really important, and in my opinion.
And what do you think, Jules Gruszczyńskie?
Oh, it's pretty much obvious in my opinion. Of course, we should, as Witek said before me, the right may not always seem like this, but the right is good at cooperation, and the left is not.
Yeah.
So, in order to achieve progress as we want, we have to cooperate and talk. Yes, thank you.
Okay. So let's start with. So if our enemies so-called, are getting stronger, how can we even build the cooperation? How can we, as a, let's say, independent fractions of the left, even create that sense of identity? How to cooperate with each other? That's my question.
Thank you for a really hard question. There's no easy plan or some kind of easy way. Events like this are a really good start. These kinds of discussions and forums. But in the long term, we should definitely be prepared for some kind of more sophisticated cooperation. We need to again exchange our ideas as we are gaining by small steps experiences in governing. That's really important. And yeah, definitely we need more events like this.
Okay. So if we want to cooperate, let's start off with those kinds of problems. In my opinion, problems kind of liberate, kind of make similarities between countries. Countries from the same parts of the world have similar problems, which obviously means that they have something in common. For example, Poland and Czech Republic. For example, we both have the problem with addressing communism or socialism. There is really a stigma in being even a leftist in our country. How should we take off that curtain?
Well, this is really about personal responsibility, in my opinion. We need to give a good example for young generations which are not brainwashed by this right-wing liberal propaganda. We need to show them that we have solutions, we have suitable solutions, and that we are, not some kind of crazy totalitarians who would kill everyone, etc. We need to emphasize more young people, young generations.
Okay. and like I think this part was not addressed enough. What about the online presence? Like it. I sometimes wonder how can we, as a for example, Middle European youth, even be like together when it comes to being online. How do we do so? Like I know this let's say our meeting is a clear representation of what we want to do this, but we can do this for the International Work Day. But how to do this in every day, to be honest? So do we need to make some kind of Euro parliamentarian blocks, such as, for example, S&D, or which has obviously failed, during the times that we're living? What is the right solution?
Well, thank you for another hard question.
I know I'm a master of doing such.
Yeah, definitely. In this situation, we need to start with the smallest things. To make first but important tiny steps. Before recording, we were talking about memes. This is a great means of propagating our work too. Simply memes. I read some materials a few years ago, I believe, that Donald Trump won the elections at 2016 thanks to the memes. Thanks to the sheer power of the memes. The similar case with Andrew Yang, the famous propagator of UBI. He also gained a lot of attention thanks to the memes.
I think I do remember like lots of Orange Man memes. Yeah, stuff like this, and obviously a lot harder stuff, which I'm obviously not gonna bring up here. But yeah, I guess the memes obviously have some kind of a let's say educational load or some.
Yes, and of course we need to show that we can make a fun of ourselves and of our so-called enemies. Because there's like this picture, left-wing people, some old dudes in academia, they write and speak in a really boring way. We need to destroy this picture.
Or we have another, let's say, stereotypical view of a leftist, which is obviously some kind of let's say 18-year-old, which obviously didn't even go to work, is drinking a soy latte. I know it is all stereotypical. I know. No, but
if you go that.
I mean, I don't have a problem myself of having a soy latte, as you know. Good
to know.
And I mean, I think Slavoj Žižek once said that we need to know how to, make fun of ourselves, because obviously we're gonna be considered as some of the, some kind of. Okay, I'm not gonna say this without sense of humor. And yeah, I think that's how we should address the young people to be more popular, but at the same time, yeah. It's a hard question, to be honest. Jules?
It is. And what I like about Slavoj Žižek is that he's leading by his own example. You would say Marxism, that's boring, outdated. No, he's using the examples from popular movies. He's using the dirty jokes. This is how we need to present ourselves, I believe.
Jules?
Yeah, I think it's a really hard challenge in all leftist movements to break the hegemony of right-wing media presence. Like, we have online a role of even non-political creators are really right-wing. Also in non-online, just the most popular, I believe the most popular TV show in America is Tucker Carlson's program, which
the Orange Man News, yeah.
But and I really, I think it was Vitek who said that we need to lead by example. But I also believe that we need to stress this by different examples, different Slavoj Žižek is going to do his thing, and it will appeal to, like we see, a lot of people, but not to all of them. And I believe like this thing is one that will probably appeal to Polish political nerds or something. But we need a lot of different approaches. The one example I would like to use, like there's a clear difference between the left-wing video essayists on YouTube and left-wing memers who are constantly in 15 layers of irony. And so, yes, we need a lot of small steps, as Witek said, small steps and plurality of media presence. Yeah.
That was a great commentary, especially the remark about the video essays. I don't know what is the situation in Poland, but here in Czech Republic, there are no leftist video essayists at all. And you know, it's really important format, because I will be radical here. I think that the ordinary essays, you know, written, they are dead. The video essays are much more engaging and much better. So it's important for us to build, this genre here in Central Europe.
The video essays.
Yes.
Just in general, leftist media that is easy to consume. Nobody will read, I don't know, the Communist Manifesto. We need something that's easy to digest, like video essays, or we need a new version of the American Union songs of the IWW. Like, I think we need a new version of that.
Wow.
Well, my personal opinion is that Communist Manifesto is pretty easily digestible. The problem is Das Kapital. You know, it's a big problem.
Like, really,
genius critique of capitalism, but nobody is reading it because it's so fat.
Listen, you don't really need to even read the Communist Manifesto to criticize communism or even socialism in itself. So why something else? We do need that. And this is another thing that I would kind of want to say. How do we? Okay, let's say that of course our history is filled with lots and lots tragedies due to the state we were living in. But how do we even try to get into a dialogue with people who are just accusing all of the leftists to that they are promoting the evil system that has killed 50 or 70 or 120 millions of people? Choose yourself, whichever do you want. The multiplying number.
We need to approach this problem from several different perspectives. There was this very genius debate during the parliamentary election here in Czech Republic. The member of Social Democracy against the member of right-wing party, and they were arguing about the housing crisis. Right now we have the second highest prices for housing in the whole of the EU here in the Czech Republic. A great accomplishment of our government, of course. And the Social Democratic guy was like, we need a state company which is going to build affordable housing. And the right-wing guy was like, you are a Bolshevik, you want the state to interfere in economy, free market will solve this problem. Exactly. And it was a beautiful debate, because the Social Democratic guy he had arguments, he had facts. The right-wing guy didn't have anything. He had only these wild accusations. We need to expose the hypocrisy and emptiness in argumentation of the right-wingers in this sense.
So this is how we defend ourselves in the national So
we need to be prepared.
Just one thing. I don't know about this debate. From what I from what I'm hearing, it went well for the left guy. But a lot of one thing that I think I keep seeing from the left, maybe not keep seeing, but I see definitely the right. We have the facts. We have the right. That's okay. That's confusing. The right side of politics, but yeah, we have the facts. Yeah, you get it. We have but however, the right wing, a lot of them are really trained in media presence. There's the different. There are so many think tanks that just focus on this, on training new right-wingers to be then. I think a great example is all of Ben Shapiro.
Oh,
yeah, all of Ben Shapiro's career. He's trained in speaking. He's trained in debating, and his opponent is quite often college students that are not trained. So this is
the worst of it is that like every single he seemed to have answers to everything, and they seem to be logical. They seem to be easy, and at the same time, like, this is more medial. This sells better on the, let's say, free market. I'm sorry for using that term.
Okay.
How do we like? This is once again about like getting to building the online and media presence of the of the left. Ben Shapiro sells well. Slavoj Žižek. Do we need like another Ben Shapiro of the left that doesn't know about anything, but he is just so skilled enough that he can get out of every dispute? Like, I mean it really doesn't take a lot to debate over something just to just to maul someone, just to throw someone into the ground and become victorious. But we as the left, I think, we should pursue to be critical, to be actually bringing something to the table, to think about our life, the society, and not just to destroy someone. But it doesn't sell.
Well, this was a really beautiful remark, and it leads us back to your previous question. I think that we should take an example from Lenin. I read a beautiful book written by Mark Fisher, Capitalist Realism.
Oh, God.
He had a beautiful remark. The capitalists themselves are better Leninists than communists themselves. They organize these think tanks. They are taught how to debate. We need to do something similar. And this is another area for cooperation between different left-wing parties, to organize these kinds of schools, to learn from our examples, to learn how to lead discussions in productive and efficient manner.
But like, I think that if we actually, make discussions, aren't a single failure could really influence over the seeing of some party. Like in our country, we have some, let's say, political mistakes in which sometimes political seem to say something stupid, but in reality they are just defending something that is a normal right, which is something that is normal. Sometimes emotions get the better of the people, and if we are if we do not have a lot of people that are supporting us, it may really be not beneficial for us to talk with some right-wingers that are not really trying to find a solution to a problem, but they are just trying to get us on the ground. But should we discuss them, though?
Again, my opinion is same. We need to lead by example, to present in these kinds of discussions that we are constructive and that we have better arguments than they have. So yeah, of course, I don't have a problem with debating right-wingers. In fact, I'm doing it all the time at the university.
Sometimes when I do this online, it's really not productive. It doesn't bring anything. But I guess when you talk with someone online is really a different experience than when you.
Well,
with academics.
it can be productive. You are training yourself. You are sharpening your arguments, and of course, you are improving your reaction. You are not getting angry so easily.
I think that we really have to stray away from this thinking that even that dirty debate is not a thing that we should do. It's dirty. It's often unproductive, but it's one of the things that we have to do. That again, a plurality of approaches. One thing might appeal to someone, and one thing might not. Of course, we have to be careful just to not ride on dunks and emotion. We have to also have real facts and arguments there. But I don't think they're exclusionary, and I definitely don't think we should just abandon it.
We have talked a lot about creating identity, about creating, even leftist identity in countries, or let's say all over the Europe. But to be honest, I can really see that, when it comes to the Western countries, they're really, let's say, socialized with each other. Sometimes left parties have really big coalitions. And sometimes they have lots of meetings that they really tend to socialize a lot. But Middle Europe is kind of like a stray island. To be honest, the only time I have really talked with or even interacted with another socialist party is now. And once when I was actually talking to someone from the Linke, but let's not bring that into the question. It's irrelevant. It really doesn't. I can see that political socialist parties are really far away from each other, and how do we combat it? Obviously, I know that left really, makes itself bigger by dividing. But yeah, how should I end this question? But it isn't even a question anymore. But I'm just gonna.
Well, I would end it on positive note. We are combating it right now by this event, by this marvelous event.
So should we create just a Middle European cooperating bloc, or should we kind of try to get into the...
Wait, Michał, maybe let's let Witek end the last thing, and then...
I'm sorry, I just tend to do that.
Thank you very much. Yes, we need to create some kind of common platform for Central European parties, where we can annually meet and discuss current political developments. And I would like to be even more positive. It's a big task for us three here, and for a young generation of leftists, to increase cooperation in Central Europe.
I have actually prepared a lot more questions, so we're gonna go to these ones, because we spent a lot of time on how to prevent, how to increase the cooperation in the Central Europe. So
don't worry, I am prepared for your hard questions.
Okay. So what stance should we take? For the international organizations such as European Union or NATO. It really isn't, let's say, leftist to say that NATO's a great organization. That something militaristic might be, really great, or something American. Oh, God, I just said it. But at the same time, if we do not address this, our opponents from the right are gaining a lot. But like, for example, in Finland, where conservatives are actually winning because they are very pro-NATO. How should we actually, what stance should we take for NATO and EU?
That's a really difficult question, especially because of the current events in Ukraine, the Russian invasion. Our opinion is that the NATO is a special tool to express, to further the American imperialism, and basically it's a relic of the Cold War. We would like to prefer to get out of the NATO and create our own security infrastructure here in Europe, which will not be dependent on some kind of superpower. This is the ideal thing. If you look at the Ukraine, we need to see the bigger picture. And we need to say to the people, first, the situation is really complicated and there are no easy ways out. We need to be honest with the people. This war will create numerous crises. The increasing prices of food, because the Ukraine is a big grain producer. The military spending is going to be really, really big. That's not good because, the budget of every state is limited. So less money are going to go for social services and more for the military. We need to be honest with people in this situation. There are no easy ways out, and we are facing really difficult times.
Okay. I don't really think that we should be at this time very critical of NATO and the EU. Because it's a really special time, and at this moment, I think pondering about the question whether American imperialism or Russian imperialism is not worth it. It's not the time to do so.
Well, I can see why you have this opinion. But what we need to stress is the cause of this war, and that's simple. It's capitalism. As long as there is capitalism, untamed capitalism, there will be wars. There's a problem that many people view this conflict as some kind of continuation of Second World War, thanks to the Putin propaganda. He speak about Nazis, etc. But in fact, this conflict is much more similar to the First World War. The Russia is trying to create its own spheres of influence to gain new territories. It's a really predatory war. So we are going back into the 1940. There are two blocks, the Western Bloc and the Eastern Bloc. And the biggest victim of this war and this geopolitical situation are going to be the ordinary working people. My opinion is that we should here play a long-term game. Yes, the critique of NATO is not going to be popular right now, but as the situation will get worse and worse, the people are going to see that we were consistent with our opinions. I think that we can, in long term, gain a lot from this stance. But that's my personal opinion.
Okay.
I think I see what you're saying, but still, I believe we have to be very, very, very soft with it. At least right now, sometimes, of course, I think we probably should talk about it and introduce this opinion, but a lot of time it's better for now not to talk about it. Of course, not talk at all. I believe we should talk some. It just shouldn't be our right. At least right now, it shouldn't be our main thing of the left.
I am sure that everyone in here can say that surely NATO isn't the best thing in the world, and we don't like American imperialism. That's true. But yeah, I think that we should kind of get from this topic, like as long as the war is progressing. I'm gonna change subjects. And this is actually about the future of the Czechian. Did I say that all right? Czechian Levice. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm kind of struggling with English sometimes.
Me too. Don't worry about that.
How do you plan to what is your plans for the future for the JSMA Levice in upcoming news? Because I really would like you guys to, come back to the parliament, because I've heard so that, yes, upcoming history has fallen upon you. How do you plan to rebuild? Because I'm already waiting. So you come out again.
Okay, the situation is complicated. Basically, right now in parliament there are no left-wing parties. Two of them, which were presented a few years ago, Social Democrats and Communists, they are out. And we, Levice, are still really small. So our first task is to build a network of local organizations throughout our republic. That's the first basic step. There are upcoming elections to the local councils in towns, and there are elections into the Senate for 1/3 of seats here. So these are really amazing opportunities for us to show that we are here and we are doing a political campaign and we are working. But first of all, we need to build our infrastructure. That's the first imminent goal. The second one, and I was talking about it earlier, is to focus on a younger generation. Because as the population is getting older and older, a lot of other political parties are focusing their political agenda on older people. So, in capitalist talk, there's this empty space on the market, the young people, in high schools, at universities, etc. In other words, we need to educate them and we need to create a future generation of leaders. So these are the imminent goals, in my opinion.
Okay. But what would you say about the consciousness of people when it comes to like the socialist values? Like, do people really know what is the left trying to fight for?
Not at all. The situation in this question is really bad. We are lacking the class consciousness, basically. I had this really sad example. The year ago, I talked with this young waitress. She was the perfect example of precariat. Before that, she worked in Burger King, and now she was working at Tea House. And I asked her for which party she would vote. And her answer was for this small right-wing party, Top 09. So I asked her why. And she answered to me, well, their leader is young and she's female. That was it. This right-wing party has never ever done anything good for ordinary working people. But she would vote for them because the leader is young and it's woman. So again, we need to educate people, and in long term, we need to return to this mass politics, to be in constant contact with ordinary people, to educate them, to be part of them, and to build this class consciousness. Again and again, exposing the hypocrisy of the ruling regime, if I can use this old Marxist term, especially in this era of high inflation and of social and geopolitical turmoil. It's excellent opportunity for us. It's not something easy, but we need to do it.
Thank you for this detailed explanation about. I'm just.
As you can see, I'm thinking about it really hard all the time.
Yeah,
because it's a big problem.
One of the last things we didn't really want to talk about in here was whether did the European left fail? Because in my opinion, it really did. But it was a long time ago. I remember that in I guess 3 years ago or something, that the leftist party that wasn't 3 years ago, when SPD won the elections, they have announced that they will be getting rid of atomic power plants in lots of places in Germany. And in my opinion, it's a way to hell, because obviously when you kind of shut off the atomic plant, you kind of have to replace it with something. In this case, it will be fossil fuel. In this way, for me, the European and Western left had failed so miserably. Should we really approach this, and how should we approach this? In my opinion, if they want to shut off the power plants, they really create a situation where we are getting more and more dependent on Russia when it comes to the gas import. And in my opinion, we should avoid it. We should be like France, which has lots of atomic plants. And in this particular case, the European left is kind of pro-Putin, because we have a energetic demand, but if we don't have the right tools, we'll have to kind of outsource to the fossil fuels.
Yeah, I agree with this statement. We also need to believe in science, in progress of science. The nuclear reactors are getting smaller and more safer. That's one thing. And again, don't forget about thermonuclear fusion. We are gaining a lot of progress in this field.
I remember that when I was in my physics lessons, my physician,
Teacher of physics
used to tell me that actually the thermal fusion is still unstable to control it. It's really actually reassuring to hear that we are getting some progress in that area.
And this is also a typical left-wing field. We need to increase the cooperation with the national states in this area. We need more cooperation, we need more funding. Because I read some articles a few years ago. The biggest problem in this area is lack of funding for thermonuclear fusion, for continuation of the research.
So it's just a matter of, okay, wow. This is actually, this is kind of depressing, I would say.
Because let's be honest, it's not like some kind of easy stuff to build. It's pretty expensive to build it. So we need a big funding.
Yes.
But I believe it was one. I don't want to make the stories here, but there was like this article that we have like new record that we had thermonuclear fusion for, I don't know, several milliseconds or something like that. So yes, we are progressing.
One thing, I believe that this particular problem is just one thing that is especially visible in the Western left, but I believe it's not only there. It's just it's hard to describe it, but a lot of the left gets stuck on this few things that are just wrong, like with atomic power, or another good example is with all the green movements being against GMO, and it's something we need to be self-critical of our dogmas, and also follow science, please.
It kind of sounds like never mind. I want to say technocrat, but this isn't the thing. I completely missed the word for that. A man who believes in science isn't a technocrat. God damn it. Sorry. I could say that like education that I gotten like really recently, I finished, was pretty right-wingish in my opinion. It really didn't like say a lot about the quality of life of workers. Like I didn't even learn in history about how it started, how the Socialist Party has the socialist movement even started. But I've obviously read how many fascist dictators have started their reign of power. I mean, the problem is also in the system, in my opinion, because the schools are pretty right-wingish. And obviously, I am not an advocate for creating political schools. No, I think it isn't the best idea. But we should at least learn a portion of the knowledge we should as a human beings that come out of school, the new model citizens.
I definitely agree. One remark for previous topic.
Oh, sorry.
No. That's completely fine. One remark for previous topic. This is why we need to cooperate as a left, to speak with our Western counterparts, to exchange ideas, and to try to find some kind of common ground. Their approach to the energy is a little bit different than ours, because their economy is a little bit different than ours. In Poland you have a lot of coal plants, so of course it's really hard for you to switch for some kind of renewables. The similar situation is here in Czech Republic. But for example, Germans, well, in North they have a lot of wind electrical plants, so it's easier for them to completely switch to the renewables. We need to talk about it in a rational and civilized manner, and to try to find a common ground. So that was on this small remark back to our previous topic. And to the topic of education, I completely agree. Many great left-wing writers wrote about this problem. Antonio Gramsci was one of them. The schools are basically the tools of a ruling class, to pump their ideology into the young people. And it's really hard to counterattack this tendency.
As long as, let's say, capitalism exists, it will still continue to shape us into role, let's say, yeah. I could understand where you're coming from, yeah. I actually didn't know about this yet, because, to be honest, yeah.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
It's another thing that also ties back to leftist media approach. No, leftist media presence. It's not easy to unlearn what you learn, especially as being such a young person, and it takes. It's different for everyone. So for what brings them over. So again, we need a plurality of approaches to our media presence, but we need a media presence. We need to educate everyone, and at some point we will shape the schools into, of course, maybe not explicitly inject, maybe not explicitly teach our children to be communists, but just to teach them better and to be critical. Yes.
Okay. But at this, I can really see a shift in what's happening around the world, because one of the things that really cheered me up when I think it was about I think it was about November last year when Solaris have protested. Jules, can you pinpoint if I am right? And I'm not saying.
Oh, not good. I'm
okay.
pinpointing.
But from what I have saw, a lot of people and a lot of parties have also participated in the strike. Have also, let's say, wrote letters about the solidarity with them. I think I personally believe that in the, let's say, in the previous record, where I actually talked about the baseline of us, the left. I think one of the baselines that we could try is obviously the increasing the welfare of the working class. Like every strike is a thing that we all agree on. Increasing the quality of life of the working class is one of the things we all could agree.
Just to like maybe summarize more the situation to anyone that doesn't know. Solaris is I believe Spanish-based company, but
Yes,
it's a
yes.
other company. And Polish workers were led on a long strike to get a pay rise. Also I don't know if you forgot to say it or something, but one of the heartwarming things for me, our parliamentary made a whole speech in Spanish in our parliament, and then I believe some of the Spanish parties spoke out about this. I believe Podemos did. I don't know how to say it in English, but yeah, it's a thing that shows cooperation can happen.
Sometimes, like the leftist party that have done what we had to do is, for example, the left. That is sometimes really, it's of course in Europe the parliamentarian party, which had obviously supported the strikers, and we could also say the workers of the CAF. Which obviously is the, let's say, the mother company of Solaris. The workers, if we want to have an influence over the society, we need to, let's say, grab two things together and let's say, complete it. Oh God! To just basically add one thing to another. We need to add the working class and the politicians, and if we work in the same direction, then we can say about really integration of one nation. And if we could do this all over Europe, or at least Middle Europe, in supporting the working class in at least few countries, I would be so ecstatic. Yeah, we have talked a lot.
Do you want to add something from you?
No, I completely agree with everything that was said here.
How to make contact with other parties that have leftist, let's say, agendas in their program. We have covered a lot about NATO. We have talked about international organizations and what can we gain from them, and what is the problems that we face when we actually talk about them. It was great to talk with you, Vitek Prokop. I really admire how charismatic you are. I wish to once make long speeches that are really full of information. Like I'll aspire to be like you.
Please don't flatter me. I don't know how to react to it. Now I'm really embarrassed.
One thing you haven't prepared for.
Yeah, I was not prepared for this. No, it was really great to speak with both of you. And yeah, definitely, we need to do this kind of events more frequently.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that's true. We kind of strayed away from the Middle European cooperation topic, but I at some point it's actually it was kind of the point of the thing that we were trying to do here. We were trying to cooperate and see if we are, if we are the same, and if we, with such a distance that we have in between our history and in our the actual distance, then I think that if we did achieve to find some kind of agreement in here, then we can do this throughout all the left. Thank you once again, Witek Prokop. It was great talking to you.
Thank you very much, and I'm sending my revolutionary greetings to the Poland.
Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Hey.